Carl here from Games, Brains and a Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short. Album review time as we're checking out the new record from the German nu metal quintet and viral stars from Fall to Spring. Their debut album Rise, out on 14th of April 2023 via a Rising Empire. Now, the return of the new sound is certainly proven to be divisive, even as modern, young and talented bands experiment with ideas to make it their own. However, too much leaning into the style of the late 90s and early noughties, and you run the risk of it sounding dated. Experiment too much, and you run the risk of isolating certain potential listener bases. It is a tricky balancing act, and from Fall to Spring are certainly walking the tightrope here. Starting off hot and showcasing exactly who they are, Brainfuck, but spelt with a 4 without the U, is the perfect showcase of the crossover appeal of From Fall to Spring, where electronica, rap, hip-hop and metal combine to make something that I think can be said is truly infectious. Something that they would then double down on with Black Heart, getting a bit more in your face vocally, but once again delivering a chorus that a wide array of listeners are just going to love. I think that's the most important aspect of this album, knowing that a wide array of people are going to fall in love with it. But if you're hoping for a bit more bite, that comes with Draw the Line, which features, man, I don't know if it was just me, an intro that is so early Linkin Park, it's startling. This is a track that will transport those of a certain age, e.g. people my age, back in time, filled with anthemic qualities and featuring some delightful intensity. It is then something more alternative with Supernova. The clean singing is immense here, before the short intermission of electronic melody as Awake gives pause, leading straight into the grandiose and passionate energy of the title track, a new and alternative anthem, if I'm honest. That latter word, anthem, is going to be used a lot when it comes to discussing this record, even if, and I accept this, it is not something you can always enjoy. There is a lot of creativity here, but when combining so many different genres, there's always the risk that some stuff just won't work. Though that isn't the case with Light Up the Sky. I want to say this straight away. A track that features sharp vocals, relatable lyrics, a robust guitar tone, and a sing-along chorus. It is a formula that is followed into Barriers 2, except here the tone is much more dramatic and the effects are quite heavy, notably on some of the vocals, which I think can be quite distracting. I really wasn't too sure about this aspect of this song. The final few tracks though feature some of the more challenging moments of all, starting with Beast Mode. Although this is a track that is sure to explode in the live environment thanks to the chorus.
Everybody rise up, everybody go insane. Everybody hands up, everybody on their feet.
Followed then by a pair that are heavy on the rap, hip-hop, electronica and new groove in the form of Destiny and The Cursed Ones. The former has some heavy snarl to it, but the latter I think is going to be incredibly divisive. It might be the most on-the-fence track I felt of all the tracks on the album. But I also think that applies, the word divisive applies to the album overall. Many people are going to love this. And I think it's going to push this band into stardom. It's really notable how alternative and how much crossover appeal this record does. Yeah, I also think it's hard to see this genre combination having long-term staying power, especially as it's going to be so off-putting to plenty of people too. As far as experimentation goes, From Fall to Spring deserve a lot of credit and are clearly extremely talented. Can't ignore that aspect or deny it. It's one of those where I can't sit here and recommend it. I would say I liked a lot of it. There are moments I loved. There are moments where I really wasn't sure about it. And I think that's going to apply to you. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. I find it hard to believe there will be many people that kind of go, yeah, it's alright, and sort of sit in the middle rather than taking a sort of strong stance either way. It is Rise from Fall to Spring. It is out on April 14th via a Rising Empire. Check it out. I'd love to know what you think. Let me know in the comments.
Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch. from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?